All right, good night. It is June 22nd, 2018. Summer's clipping right along now at a 100-degree pace. And hope y'all are getting some flying time out. And this is the place to talk about it. This is the Stunthangar Control Line Forums video hangout, but we'll talk about anything, whether it's remote control or control line, boats, trains, planes, and automobiles, anything you like to play with, either in the workshop or out at the field or lake or whatever it is you do. We'll talk about fishing and cars and everything else, anything but politics, and give you a short window to get your geezer gripes in, but we try to limit that to about 10 minutes because we all got them and it ain't a contest. Oh, Ron Hass, man, you're always Johnny on the spot. Good evening, Ron. And Ron came in on the YouTube side. It looks like the chat box must be working because Ron's up and it is open on the YouTube watch page. If you go to the Stunthangar YouTube forums homepage, and you should see the streaming video, and click on that, and the chat box will be right next to the video window. Or if you go to the live streams at the bench thread in the Stunthangar forums, which you must be signed into as a member to be able to view, the link to that same page with the chat box, and where you can watch us on YouTube um, without your camera and microphone is all there. And if you want to come in live, the link is also in that page, in that thread that I posted on at the bench. I always post the thread just about a moment before the show starts and not before. And so we got 4 viewers who've already clicked in. If you're subscribed to the Stunthangar YouTube channel and you've got your notifications set correctly, then you should get a ding on your bell on your YouTube page, assuming you've got one. I guess you have to if you're subscribing, and that'll give you the link to get into the watch page there. Either way, to get into the live video, you've got to go to the Stunthangar forum and click in from the live streams / at the bench thread. And that's the way it always is, and we hope that's the way it always will be. And if you want to help us keep it always, then if you're in the chat box, there is a super chat button. So that actually a $sign you can click to give us some walking around money to help Sparky pay the server fees and all of that. That keeps the show both on the air and on the air for free. Free for us, not free for him. He pays a lot of money for this stuff, but we all benefit from it. And so I'm here to help with that. And I'll host, and you can talk, and you guys on YouTube can post your comments and questions and come in. We'll try to incorporate it here and include you in our conversation. So we appreciate y'all being there too. Look like Sparky's popped in on us already. He's the first video visitor tonight. How you doing, Sparky?
All right, getting ready to go back to work.
Yeah, ain't that the way? Well, everybody that I've talked to seemed like they had big fun at Brodak. I've been talking to Will Davis, and several people have called me up and told me all about it. So it looked like it was a pretty good show, and we'll hopefully be back next year. God willing, John feels like hosting it again. So
I just posted day 3 up. I got 4, 5, and 6 as well to go. But
oh, good. Yeah, I looked at it just a few minutes ago, and it wasn't up. You must have just now posted it, or I didn't notice it anyway. But yeah, good video that I've watched so far. I need to get over to the Control Line Flying YouTube page and spend more time poking around there. I know there's a lot of videos and pictures there too, and I hadn't had time to get to look at it. But so what you doing? I see you're in your main shop tonight. What you got on the bench?
yeah, my new airplane.
What would that be called?
I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet.
Oh,
PA 65 or PA 75. I mean.
looking beautiful so far. That carbon fiber landing gear you got on there.
Yeah, carbon fiber, yeah. Carbon fiber muffler.
Yeah, I remember you showing us that, I think. Yes.
I got a carbon fiber tank coming from Japan. Who would pay $100 for a gas tank?
I guess Sparky would.
Yeah.
Worth trying anyway.
Yeah. This right here is ridiculously expensive. What's sitting here? 50 on the landing gear, 50 on the spinner, 80 on the muffler, 500 on the motor. It's ridiculous.
What's that spinner made out of? Is it aluminum or is it carbon too?
Carbon.
And painted or?
Yeah, I painted it. It's my 3-blade spinner that I use on my other airplane. I got a 2-blade on it and a 3-blade here, but 75 only uses a 3-blade. Only prop I got is a 3-blade.
Do we have rules here in the U.S. about how sharp the spinner can be? Because I know the FAI a couple of years ago came out with rules about that.
No. If you took that spinner and put it on a grinder, and you couldn't get it blunt enough for an FAI rule. I mean, it's really blunt. Their stupid rule.
Are they? I guess they're trying to protect people that don't know to stay out of the circle. I'll tell you what, though, my first time at a control line contest, I was of the wrong assumption that if you were outside of the outside line, then you were safe. And somebody with 70-foot lines, probably eyelet to eyelet, was flying a good plane length outside of the circle all the way around, and I almost got clipped. So I learned my lesson real quick, and luckily didn't have to learn it the hard way. I kept my ass a little farther away from then on.
Yep, I got a long drive tomorrow.
Where you got to go tomorrow?
Back to Dayton.
Back to Dayton. Okay. Dang, tomorrow's Saturday too. You don't even get a weekend off, huh?
I had a whole week off.
Yeah, I guess you did. Yeah, was that your boss man that was with you on camera the other night when you were in the motorhome? Is that,
yep.
Is that who you travel with? Okay. So I guess he got a week off too.
Yeah, I've been off 2 weeks now.
His name's Jerry, right?
Right.
Yeah, Will Davis was telling me Jerry's a pretty laid back, cool guy.
Yeah, he was a minister, preacher.
Well, y'all are polar opposites then, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Hey, it balances. Friendships balance out like that. One guy fills in what the other one doesn't, and vice versa. Well, Friday nights are unpredictable around here. Sometimes we get big crowds. Usually, it looks like lately the bigger crowds have been on Monday night. They poured in like it was raining the other night as soon as I logged on. We got Ron Hass over here on YouTube. He's our only tuber so far. He got 7 viewers out there, though. Don't ever know who they are, but Will said a lot of people were asking him if that Rusty guy was coming up at Brodak. So I appreciate all those people that were asking about me. It lets me know that people are watching. Evidently, they're enjoying it. I assume it was because they liked it. Maybe somebody.
They think you're funny looking. They just wanted to see what you look like in person.
Yeah. Who is that hippie Sparky's got on the video show?
You go back to 2014, my hair was as long as yours.
Yeah. I cut about 1.5 foot of mine off a couple of months ago, so I don't have a ponytail anymore. But I cut it too short. Now it gets in my face. I gotta glue it back behind my ears almost to keep it from getting on me. So,
well, I was watching one of my videos that I had the camera over my head, and I had my hat off, and I go, shit, I'm bald. So I bought them clippers and I shaved it all off. I don't know. I probably shave it off again. I mean, it's growing back a little. I've been growing it about 3 months now.
It gets to be a nuisance sometimes after a while. Then if it gets to a certain length, it's okay. It's easy to control by just tying it up. But mine's at that in-between stage where I can't tie it up. And I made a mistake cutting it too short to tie up. So I'll get it back there and see how I like it.
I had to remake my molds for, you know, I already had these molded pieces made for this fuselage here. And I bought that carbon tank, so I had to lengthen the nose. So I had to lengthen this box here in the fuselage. I had to move F2 back about an inch so that the tank can go back into the wing.
Yeah, see.
So these pieces here fit this fuselage. These here. And while at Brodax, we got to talking around with a bullshit session, the Rockler steam box. And they bend, you know, oak and cherry and stuff. So I bought a Rockler steam generator. It's in Dayton now, and John is making the box. And when I get there, I made the molds, remade the molds for this fuselage. So when I get there, we're going to try the Rockler steam generator for bending balsa wood. Takes it up to 212 degrees because that's what steam is.
Yeah.
And it's 15 minutes for every quarter inch. Or no, 15 minutes for every inch of wood. So a 16th should be in and out of there in a heartbeat and be like a noodle. So we're going to try bending some more wood with the steam generator.
Bob Zambelli wraps his lead edge wing sheeting to form it with a ace bandage and dunks it in the bathtub for a while and takes it out. I think he leaves, I don't know if he leaves it in there overnight, but
no, he wets the wood. He does it exactly like I do. You wet the wood in the bathtub, take it out, bend it around the buck, and wrap it with an ace bandage, which will get done with that.
Well, I like the steam idea though.
Did he give you the monocoat and a shirt?
No, I'm going to go down there and get it, and take a plane, and we'll just spend a day messing around down at his house, and I'll get it and come back to bring it back home. I'll have to do that. It'll be after next week. By the way, I've told everybody else but you I'm not going to be here for the Monday and Friday shows coming up. I'm going to the beach. So if you want to do anything in this time slot or whatever time you want to, it'll be open because I'm not going to be able to do the show from the beach.
Next week, this coming Monday.
Correct, Monday and Friday.
Okay, well I'll fill in, but I'm not going to do it at this time. There's no way.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't, but it'll give them something to look at anyway. I told everybody else on the show that I wasn't going to be here, so I've been forgetting to tell you. So
whatever.
Yeah, I could use a break anyway.
I'm so tough. I don't care. Whatever. I appreciate you doing it.
Well, that's all right. I enjoy doing it too. So yeah, it's all good. I'll be back from my vacation all invigorated, and maybe I'll be even more interesting and funny to listen to. I'd have a lot more to talk about if I was getting out in the field and getting with my buddies flying things, but I still hadn't gotten back in the action yet.
You see the video of my flight at Brodax?
I did, yeah. That was one of the first things I watched when I started looking through your videos from Brodax. That was a good flight. I saw you got about 517 for it, something like that.
570.
570. Okay, excuse me. Yeah, that's a big difference. But yeah, that's pretty good. And I know you were talking about you had a little bit of problems with things there, and you know, I could see that it wasn't your usual perfect flight. That wind coming through the trees makes it wiggle when it goes up top, and everybody complains about those trees up there, the way the wind swirls when it comes through.
Well, the thing that started the flight off poorly was that I missed bisecting the circle in a 180. I started here and ended up, I didn't go right straight over the top. So I ended up about 15 foot off on the right to the right, came around, and then I bisected it on the upside.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I had one low pull. The outside squares were not good. I mean, it's good for me to look at that and see where I can improve my flight.
Yeah. Your inside loops also walked a little bit, just not a lot, but one was here and then boom to the right a little bit.
But you know, they're round.
Things from a judging perspective. So,
but loops are round, not eggs.
yeah, you're right there. Now, I did see somebody, I think it was on the same video where you would film somebody else flying, and it might have been an intermediate, but he flew long ovals. Well, I got the camera clicked so it doesn't show me, but yeah, he flew long ovals like that, and I'm figuring that must have been an intermediate flight, because I don't think you even filmed the full pattern on it, but that was an obvious misshapen loop.
I got a lot of video footage left to go. You know, I was going to make a movie. I'm editing it shorter, but I'm not going to make a movie. I'm just editing the raw footage up, putting it up. But I got 3 or 4 more days worth to go. I got a lot of footage.
I put one of your videos in my newsletter when I sent it out yesterday, and it was the guys talking about painting in the shop at Brodak, and I forget the name of it now, but the first thing you showed was somebody with a paint stand, and so I went ahead and just put that in the newsletter as a sampler of what you were posting up on YouTube.
That's Bob Brookins.
Yeah, that's right. That's who it was.
I did my method right after.
I saw that, yeah. I was in a hurry to get that newsletter out, so I didn't put a lot of pictures or videos in it, but I always like to put something for people to look at, and I figured that was as good as any, something from Brodak. So I just picked your video to show. Yeah, we got 9 viewers looking in from the tube. I hope somebody will come join us live. Ron Hess says his tablet's not working, so he's going to stay on the tube. It's been 100 degrees every day this week here in Columbia. 100 degrees, and humidity's not too bad, maybe 70, 75%, something like that. But it's musty out in the shop. You can tell I hadn't been going out there a lot, because when I open the doors, it smells like mildew. So I don't like that. I got my raw cardinal fuselage sitting out there all put together and soaking up that moisture. I should have gone ahead and gotten some dope on it so it wouldn't soak up any more moisture. But
there's the inside of my cowl.
That's nice and neat. Let me click on it. There we go. Yeah, that's nice and neat.
I'm going to thin it out some more. It's about 3/16 thick here. It'll be thinned down to 1/8 inch at least.
Do you use a power tool, or do you do it by hand when you do that last thinning on it?
Well, this was hogged out with a Dremel, and then I sanded it by hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never done any carving before, and when I get to the wingtips on the Cardinal, I'm going to have to hollow them out, and I guess I'll find a good tool on the Dremel to do it with. Maybe they make some good different shaped tools to put on them.
There's the setup on the PA.
That all fits up nice. That looks good.
Nice, do nice, neat joints. Neat, you know.
Is that one of those Brewline mufflers you got? I mean, air filters you got on there?
Yeah. And you got to sand. I tell people you got to sand next to the sandpaper longer to get this the right shape.
Yeah.
It's still got a little ways to go. It has to be sanded under shape a little bit because I'm going to put fiberglass over it, so that'll bring it up.
Stand it up more, yeah.
So it'll be another. I've got like 5 rounds of sanding on this, and some guys talk about motor offset or whatever. I want you guys to see how much motor offset is there. I mean,
well, if there is any, you can't tell because it's matched up so well. Yeah, you can actually see it on my Cardinal that I've done. It was just not a full nose like it, but it does have a ring on the front. And that's the first time I've ever put a ring on the front of one. I got it pretty close, but it's still about a 32nd off.
There'll be another round of sanding on that nose block. Then I'll cut it off and hollow it out like I've done here. And when I get it to this particular shape is I go ahead and, why is my camera not focusing? There we go. When I get it to this shape, I put it on the scale and I weigh it. This weighs 3/4 of an ounce right now. When I'm done sanding, I'm going to sand a 1/4 ounce out of it. That means 7 grams. So I'll cut down in here where the wood is thick in the bottom here. I'll probably drill some holes in the back of this. It's a little thick up here in the round spot. I'll thin this down to 1/8 inch. But I've got to get 7 grams off of this because I don't want anything more than a 1/2 ounce on the cowl. And on the top block, I don't know what it weighs. I think it's probably around 2.5 ounces. Now I want to get that down to no more than 3/4 of an ounce. So I've got to cut 90% of the lumber out of that. So, and if you don't think light is right, talk to Steve Hines. I don't know if he told you how I did flying into the wind.
Yeah, he did tell me about that. You were joking about it the other night, saying you were going to build a slug heavy plane so you could fly it in any kind of wind.
Everybody says you can't fly a light airplane in the wind. Well, that's nonsense. But I built this week since I've been here. This whole, I mean, when I'm over there in Dayton, I got a semi little workbench, but to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of ambition when I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, if you work hard all day, it's hard to come home and want to pick up the tools again.
But I've been here all week, so decided I'd use it to my best advantage, build something.
Bob Bishop dropped in to say hi to us.
Hey, Bob. The wing is done. I just need to put the bell crank in it and the 2 compression spars, top and bottom. The sheeting's all cut. So I can put that together and glue the tips on it and take it over to John's and silk span it. I bought silk span at Brodax. And after I get that done, then I'll put it in the elevator stabilizer is done, the rudder is done. This thing's basically done. I would say if I was home here, I could fly this next week.
That's pretty incredible, especially considering having to dope it and paint it, and that stuff dries so fast. Though I guess you can do that.
It might be 2 weeks on this, but it wouldn't be long.
It seems like there's always something that comes up to slow you down. And I get, the closer I get, the more it looks like an airplane, the slower the going gets. But that's partly just due to my lack of experience. And I'm always trying something new. I like to do something I've never done before on every single model I build, if for no other reason, just to learn how to do it or see how I like doing it. And so there's still a hell of a lot of things I've never tried that I have yet to do on future builds.
I think I will probably, after we get this steam box going, I will probably do a video on steaming balsa. I've never steamed balsa wood before, but we've always used the bathtub method. But I thought, well, hell, you know, if that Rockler steam box jet steam generator will do 1-inch oak and stuff, it ought to do balsa wood real good.
Yeah, I guess it ought to.
This is basically what it's going to look like.
That's nice. I like that shape of vertical stab. So you put everything at 0 degrees off the thrust line. You don't put anything canted out or down.
The only thing that's off is I use 3 degrees motor offset.
Oh, 3 degrees. Okay. That's more than I would have guessed.
Well, that's more than anybody else uses. But you got to go to the simple fact, motor offset is your friend overhead. What the heck was that?
That was my email making noise. I think I'll turn my email off. I don't want to be communicating with anybody via email while we're on the show anyway. Here we go. No more noise.
Now these are just the mold bucks, but you'll kind of get the idea what the shape is. Now I can't do it with the tail wheel in there. There we go.
That's a good looking machine.
It's classic lines.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Got an extra long nose on it. I moved the canopy a little farther back than the other one, and it's a longer airplane than my Junar.
Do you bother with ray rudders on any of your planes?
No, not at all, ever.
I've heard there's no reason to really need one unless you're swinging a really big prop.
Not it either. Let me tell you why the Ray brothers on there. Al Raby built some really nice semi-scale models. And if you look at his models, there's no wing in it. Those wings are small, tiny. There's no big wing area. So, and the airplanes that he built are extremely heavy. Like that critical mass, I think weighs 96 or 98 ounces. And they're swinging a 15-inch propeller on a Sato or whatever. You got all that disc area. So here we got an airplane that weighs a lot. Wing loading is way high, big propeller. And Al was the master of getting the most out of all his, getting the most out of the airplane that wasn't that efficient. So he would put that ray rudder on it to compensate for gyroscopic precession or some stuff, and I guess it worked for him because, you know, obviously he won the Nats, you know, once or twice, or whatever.
And that is, with a giant prop like that, I guess I can imagine. Because I have read about them and understand kind of how they work and the reason behind it. But
I didn't find that necessary. I had my Thunderbolt #3 had a PA-75 and it swung a 15.4 propeller, but it didn't weigh 90 ounces. It was in the 60s, and it had 700 square inches of wing area. I personally don't want to induce any yaw into my airplane that is not necessary, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've got a Rabe Bearcat right here that I'll eventually. Al Rabe sent me his muffler. I got the motor right there for it. I got the muffler, Al Rabe muffler. I got all his disc tape set, and here's the kit. All I need now is the time to do it. But that airplane there, for me, is, I would rather build something modern and super light with a big wing in it.
Oh, Gerald Wimmer just checked in, says, hello, Rusty and Sparky. Nice looking model, Sparky. Nice explanation of the Rabe rudder. Just started watching as we just got home from shopping. Yeah, they're in broad daylight down there, so maybe he'll be able to get in here and visit with us on video pretty soon. But right now we got 11, 12 guys watching us on YouTube, and Ken Colbert just checked in and says, Rusty, do you know where I can get a Venturi for a Sato 40? It has a carb on it right now. Might be forced to install a 3-line bell crank on it. I don't know right offhand, but I know, there's a lot of people that make Venturis, like Jim Lee and a host of other guys on Stunthangar. So you want
to talk to Steve Moon. He's the guy who makes the Venturis for the Satos.
There you have it.
Right here. Now this is a 72. This is a 72, but this is the Sato Venturi for it. So
yeah. Well, that's a handful of motor there.
I got one bigger.
What is that? Crankcase pressure up there with the tube coming off of it? Pulsed pressure, timed pressure?
Yeah.
I've never noticed anybody using timed pressure like that on a stunt engine, right behind the front bearing. So every time the intake comes around, it pushes crankcase pressure down, I guess, in the downstroke.
This says made in Japan.
I don't know. The Japanese make pretty good stuff these days.
Yeah. Anyway, that's who makes the Venturis, and it's a nice looking.
Do you set any of yours up for pressure like that? I've never actually seen one outside of half A with pressure tapped off the crankshaft like that.
No. This thing's gonna need bearings.
Yeah, I can hear it squeaking.
Needs squeaking, but
that might be the pinch up on the piston and cylinder squeaking.
Not on a 4-stroke. It's got rings in it.
Oh.
We'll put a little snake oil in it.
Ron Hess says that's a vent for the crankcase. Yeah, Ron, I realize that. Not for pressure. Oh, I thought it was for, yeah, it's on the wrong side. Wait a minute. I got to think about it now. I was going to say it's on the wrong side for pressure anyway, isn't it?
There we go.
Cleared it up.
Just need a little oil. Randy snake oil. Yeah.
So Ron, are you saying you run that vent open? You couldn't run the plane with that vent wide open, could you?
This one's plugged.
Okay. I guess it's a good way to get oil into the bearings if you wanted to get it on the back face of the front bearing and the front face of the back bearing. No, that wouldn't. Oh, it would. Okay.
I got a shit pot of motors here, that's for sure.
Do you take the internal faces off of the bearings on your ball bearing engines?
I don't do anything to them. I run everything as is.
Is that that's a two-stroke, right?
This one here is a what? The Sato 4-stroke.
One you got right there, yeah.
This is Stunthangar 60.
Oh, yeah, okay. Ron just made a comment. Most 4-strokes use a vent like that. Oh, hey, George. Jorge Gonzalez just came in with us. I still call him George sometimes. We're good. He says, how are you? We're both pretty good. Looks like we're building a pretty good YouTube crowd with 14 viewers right now. We're expecting Gerald to pop in on us pretty soon from down under.
They must be getting ready to give me a thumbs down.
No, he's not your thumbs downer.
Everybody give us a thumbs up. Let's have 14 thumbs up to start off with. I couldn't believe they gave me a thumbs down for Rodak videos. Hey, I wish the hell that whoever is doing that would get off their ass and make a video, or at least have the balls to say who it is.
You just got a hater out there. There's nothing you can do about those, especially on YouTube when nobody can tell who they are. It makes them feel good to berate you. We got a pretty good crowd though. We get mostly all thumbs up, maybe one thumbs down here and there, and I'm guessing that's always the same person. So hell with it.
They need to take an aeronautical intercourse at a rolling piece of pastry.
So Will told me you had to teach the girl from the AMA magazine how to use her camera equipment.
Yep, she couldn't even turn it on.
Yeah, he said, Will said that she had some of the camera put together backwards and you had to kind of take it apart and rearrange things and help her get it going.
Yeah, Mike Lucky got all mad at me because I whispered it. She was interviewing him, and I told her, hey, if you're, the audio there's not gonna be any audio. The audio on Osmo is shit. And she said, oh, okay, whatever, I know. And so she had the HN. I had the same exact setup she had. She never had been turned on or whatever till she got there. It's not a good way. I don't expect that video to come out very good, but we'll see.
She said she's going to write about a 4-page article about it, though. I'm glad we're getting some attention in control line.
Yeah.
Do they usually send somebody to Brodak?
No, first time I ever see him there.
Well, good. I'm glad somebody came. Jorge says he's got a poor signal and he's not allowed to come on live. Oh, well, that's all right. I'm glad you got it straightened out so you can come on if you ever get a decent connection. 15 viewers now.
I want to see 15 thumbs up, guys. Give us all the thumbs up. Let's go over there and check, see if they're doing their job. How many thumbs up we got?
Screen open.
How many thumbs up we got?
That's what happens every time I open mine. That's why I stay away from it. I was accusing Charles of reverbing the other night, and it turned out it was me.
Yeah, Ron Hess says no thumbs down. We do too much. Okay, let's see what we have on the video manager. Where you at? You still there, Rusty?
Yeah, I'm here.
You just got quiet.
Ken, yeah, I know. I've got a little dead air going on here. I was over there reading the YouTube side. Ken Colbert just gave you a thumbs up.
Cool, thanks. Brodak Day 3 has 14 views. It's up and running. Got 1 thumbs down on Brodak Day 2. It's got to be that guy. The joke. We're doing pretty good as far as subscribers go. We went up 21 subscribers so far this month. So that's good. We're growing, just slow.
Yeah.
But what do you expect?
How long's it been since you flew that super chipmunk hanging on the wall back there?
That's the Continental.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was a chipmunk.
Probably been a year. I got all kind of planes here I haven't flown in a while.
Yeah, the only Continental I remember seeing you work on was the one you did with Polyspan for somebody else, I think.
Yeah. I built, if you go back to the old building videos, I did this one on there.
Yeah, I never have gone back and looked at all of your older ones. I'd like to go back and just spend some time watching them. You just hardly ever get any time to sit down in front of YouTube with no responsibilities or do anything else. So I'm always having chores to do instead of playing with the computer.
Well, I think I'm going to do my next tutorial video when I steam this wood over John's. So I'll have help. So that'll help.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching that. And one tutorial video, last one I remember watching all the way through was when you were with somebody else in their shop cutting foam wing cores.
That's John, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't really a tutorial video. That was a comic video.
Well, sometimes they turn out that way.
Well, we didn't know what we were doing. He knows what he's doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. All right. See you later, Ken. He's got to run now. Take it easy. We'll see you next week. Well, somebody will see you next week.
I probably should make another video on how to make mold bucks. I think I got a mold buck video on the Thunderbolt, maybe not on the Thunderbolt mold bucks. I probably should sell them to somebody who wants to build a Thunderbolt. They took a week to make.
So what do you start with a piece of sheet and bend it and then thin it out, or do you start with a block
Of what?
Of wood for like that, what you're holding in your hand?
Well, the bottom of it's normally Luan or pine or some type of hardwood. Well, I happen to have a piece of RC 3/8 that was just like pine, balsa wood. So I cut the basic shape out of it, and you cut the shape to the inside.
Right.
So what we got here, take this off. what you got here is I go to the inside of the fuselage and draw a line. Oh shoot, wrong way. Here we go. Go to the inside, so you have the room for the mold, for the balsa wood to go over the mold buck and rest on top of this. So I don't know if you can see that or not. It's not as wide as the fuselage. It's a little narrower.
Right. Makes sense. Okay.
Okay, so then you put your formers, what you want the station, each shape to look like. So you cut a former out of light ply and you set it right here. And then I glue foam in between them, and then cut, carve, sand, and shape down to the light ply rib or former bulkhead, and then pull those out. And then these are Z-epoxied, and to coat the Z-epoxy. So when you mold this, you take a piece of 3/32 balsa wood, slip it into that, shape it. It'll be perfect shape, and then mold over the top of it. So when you take the skin off, if you mark where the station was, this will fit exactly perfectly.
Perfect. Okay.
Perfect to the inside. Then you glue that station right there is that station right there. See what I mean?
I do. That's freaking amazing. Okay. Yeah.
So then you can glue either the station onto the bulkhead and then put the skin on, or like I do, put the station inside here, sand it flat, glue all the way around it with white glue, and stick it on there. And then you got a perfect monocoque fuselage, the bottom bulkhead. And I also do the grain differently. The grain on the bulkheads here runs side to side, and the grains on the tops and bottoms runs up and down this way. So it's you know, strongest this way, but not this way. And this one is strongest this way, up and down this way. So it Echo, Charles. Hey, what's up?
Hey, Echo. Charles. Hey, Gerald.
Hey, Gerald.
Hi, I'm Rocky.
Anyway, that's how I get the mold buck, and that's the procedure for that.
All right, thanks for the explanation, because I hear you describe it, but now I see what you're doing, and I would have never figured out how to get the cross members aligned inside the fuselage and all the pieces to mate up.
You take a piece of wood like this and slip it down into that crack, down till it touches like that.
Yep.
Trace around it, and then take a block sander and sand it perfectly smooth, and it's exactly the mirror image of the inside.
Can't miss.
Nope.
So, dudes, Charles and Gerald, how y'all doing tonight?
Good, thank you.
Good.
I added a thumbs up along with George, but yeah, it's annoying to think you're getting negatives. I suppose I'll have negatives on my YouTube videos as well. We've just got our haters out there. But I suppose I've seen that with Shug has posted his videos, and he said some people do not like the model airplane videos.
Well, don't like it.
Yeah, it was surprising, but yeah, I suppose we have those people that just do not like us making our noise and having our fun.
Some people live to just be negative. Some people ain't happy unless they're unhappy.
Yeah, well, I found that out when we used to do control line displays at the Museum of Transport and Technology, and we'd have people that just didn't like us flying there. They'd complain from across the road, and some days we wouldn't even be flying. We'd just be mowing the circle, getting ready for the Sunday. We'd be mowing on the Saturday, and they'd ring up and say, "Oh, your people are making too much noise," and all we were doing was cutting the grass. Or it would be too windy, and you'd still get complaints.
Oh, yeah, too much.
Right by their window and start whacking the weeds for them. How do you like that?
We had a big road, a busy road separating us between the flying field and the houses on Miola Road, but it was a wealthy area. and the middle class or wealthy people there maybe didn't like their peaceful afternoons being interrupted or mornings with our control line models, but whether that was really a factor, I don't know. Oh, we've got
Hey,
Kevin on as well. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey,
Kevin's
Kevin.
got Mike muted right now. There we go. How you doing, Kevin?
Hey, I got a camera. Wow, look at you, man. Good
Looks
style.
like it's working great too. Got a nice clear picture of you.
How about that?
Well, the model's looking really good, nice there, Sparky. It's nice to learn a bit more about how you do your molding too.
Well, I
Yeah,
tried.
this is so far this is a good video for anybody that wants to learn something about building a full fuselage model. I had no idea how to make everything fit together until Sparky just showed me how he did it.
One thing to make everything fit together. It's another thing to make everything fit together perfect. On a light airplane, it has to be perfect.
Hey Sparky, I might have missed this, but how do you make the slots in that former for the how do you make the slots in that that buck?
Okay. First thing I do is I make the bottom. The next thing I do is put the first former on in the front right here.
Right.
Then I measure from here to the first station and make a line on the former.
Right.
Then I cut a piece of foam that length and butt it up against here.
Okay.
So now we got a piece of foam on there. Then I put the former on and butt it up against the foam. Then do the next one and butt it up against the foam. You don't glue it on there. You just butt it up against there. Then you pull those formers out and sand and shape your.
Oh, thank you so much. I remember watching someone else do it, and they actually had some sort of a hot wire. They did actually cut the slot out, you know.
Yeah, well,
I got a hot wire to do that.
I got a hot wire, but let's make it easy.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Okay, so now I just sanded that piece of wood right there, and I take the knife and I pick it out of there. Come on.
We really can't see what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I ain't just picking it out of there.
Okay.
Let me get the ball driver.
Come on, Professor, you got to get off of my lap, boy. Heavy cat.
There we go. So I lifted the former up and stick a ball driver in there and peel it out of there.
Good idea. I like that.
So now this former is exactly correct to this buck. So you glue this and glue that on there, and then glue the skin on, and it will be perfect fit. Perfect fit.
Right.
The reason why perfect fit is so important is because less glue, lighter model.
That's right.
You use white glue to do that?
No.
Who's been flying this week?
Well, I hope to fly tomorrow morning. We normally do our flying on Sunday morning. The other guys in New Zealand are doing combat today. They've got their big combat day on the celebrating the shortest day of the year. They have a big contest down in Mercer for combat. But
today was the longest day.
Yeah, you're at the other end. Yeah. We're hoping to get some of those long days back soon. Anyway.
Okay, I want to show this. Now I made this in that buck, so this is the piece. And if you look, let's see if we can get a close up of it. If you look, that leaves an 1/8 inch ridge there. Let's see.
Wow.
you know,
yeah, it's perfect.
so that it will butt up against this, be glued to that, and then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Beats carving up a whole lot of block. The molding certainly saves a lot of time and hassle and expense.
And
Well,
the grain's running from top to bottom on that piece. And
right,
the grain inside the fuselage is running from side to side, right?
correct.
Excellent.
And if you go ahead and glue it up on here without gluing it inside the skin, which is, I had another skin. Where did it go? Oh crap! Oh, there. No. Oh, here there. If you glue it inside the skin first, you know it's a little more difficult to do, but you can do it either way. Now this one here is not exactly for this one here. I haven't molded those yet, so it doesn't. I mean, it's a little taller. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is a different piece. This doesn't go on that airplane.
Okay.
I probably can show that when I do it in Dayton. And then fitting this to the fuselage is pretty easy. I use I hold this, tape it up there or whatever, and then take a straight edge and eyeball down this line right here and cut right through both pieces, this and that. And when it goes together, it's, you know, matches male and female.
So Kevin, what's your Kevin's got his mic muted. I was going to ask, what's your favorite control line discipline? Stunt or speed or combat or what?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, stunt by all means.
Where do you live?
Excuse me. East side of San Diego.
Oh, near Charles. Okay.
Yeah.
Near Poway.
Lakeside.
Lakeside.
El Cajon.
El Cajon. I used to run my Mustang at Carlsbad.
Yeah.
We got,
Traveling up there.
so we got you and Charles and Dennis all in the same area.
Now, Dennis is quite a bit farther north in California.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think he's up in Stockton.
And that's only, what, 1,000 miles away?
Something like that.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, that's a long,
Pretty far apart.
thing.
But we're still in the same state. He's just farther north.
California's a big state.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's certainly a long distance between one state. Yeah.
I'm not sure how far it is from San Diego to Sacramento, but it's quite a ways.
Yeah, it is.
About 600 miles.
And then you got, what, how many more miles to Washington or Oregon?
I don't remember.
But it's less than 500. I know that much.
It's a long way. And it's, what is it, a couple hundred miles from Nevada to the shores? Nevada to the Pacific?
No, it's longer than that. Well, yeah, if you go from Reno and you cut across, it's about 4 hours.
And we're on the west coast of Auckland, New Zealand, and we drive from the west coast to the east coast and back again in 40 minutes. That's how small New Zealand is. One side of the island to the other, 40-minute drive back.
That's about the size of the city of St. Louis.
Yeah, it's a long, skinny country, but yeah, very narrow.
Huh.
I just can't.
On your Pathfinder?
What'd you say, Kevin?
Anything done on your Pathfinder?
Not lately. I just laid up some balsa wood to make some balsa ply for F1 and F2. I was going to try to make it lighter. So I used some balsa, and I used carbon fiber between the plies, and rotated the grains. So they're pretty stiff and really light. Because I wanted the plane to fly with the LA-46, and it's, you know, forgot what the wing area is. It's a pretty big plane.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm cannibalizing the wing from an arc, and I'm changing the bell crank, and so there's some things that might be kind of heavy because they're from an arc. So the fuselage I'm making extremely light. I got some 5-pound wood for the fuselage sides. They're 3 32nd thick and 5-pound wood.
Now, are you the builder that said he's not using tricycle gear? Or somebody is building Pathfinder without tricycle gear?
You know, at one time I wasn't, because I was going to put that K77 in it with the rear exhaust. It was going to be kind of I thought it might be kind of troublesome. So, but with the LA-46, the trike gear won't get in the way.
Rusty, you got an echo going. You got a window open?
I have not touched my computer in the past 20 minutes. No, I don't have a window open.
Somebody's got a window open.
How many closed is this?
Sometimes it just does that.
Yeah,
I found the window that was paused, but I just closed it just now, so maybe it'll go away.
I don't hear it.
Yeah.
So it might have been me. Sorry.
I'm surprised we still got the chat feature.
Well, they've been talking about removing Hangouts entirely. At least we're still going after nearly a whole month, aren't we?
Yeah, we've been on the month of grace. Now we still have the other one linked in.
Maybe they just decided this was such a great show that they couldn't turn off the video Hangouts.
Are you drinking?
They said, like, these guys, man, they're having the best show in the entire world on YouTube, so we can't turn it off.
Yes,
somehow the defaults have changed, though. They're no longer, all the videos are no longer monetized. You got to monetize them manually.
Yeah.
I usually look right after we close the show, and it's got the little green thing up that means, I always thought that meant it was monetized.
It is, but I just noticed that when I uploaded these other videos. They might have changed it today.
No, they could, yeah, you're right. They could have changed it today. A lot of times I feel like they're working on this stuff while we're actually using it, so they're making changes on the fly.
In that painting video that I did with Bob Brookins, I mentioned 5,000 grit sandpaper. There it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Never seen it round. I'll have to keep an eye out. We might get it 20 years later here in New Zealand.
I've actually seen it at Walmart. Somebody bought it for their automotive finishing rack. And they had a lot of different high grits like that I'd never seen before. I maybe should have bought some at the time, because once you see it once, you might not ever see it again.
There was a kid, all you could get was 600. That was the finest you could get in New Zealand was 600, but now you can get 1,200 and 2,000. But I'll keep an eye out.
Well, I think Amazon delivers there in New Zealand, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I bet you can buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, I end up shopping a lot online. A lot of the stores here are not that great, but they're going to make it quite hard for us. October next year, they're going to put a new series of taxes on importing things, and that might mean we've just got to do things in bulk, get huge quantities and send them for a shipping agent, trying to cut down the invoicing charges. If they're going to charge you like $100 an invoice, or basically for paperwork to bring in a shipment, it'll make things tricky. But it might mean I might have to do some importing. You know, I used to import Fox motors into New Zealand years ago, but it was hard to sell them. But if they've if they tighten down the borders and it makes it hard to import things, then it might be an opportunity to bring in things again and sell them at and keep the hobby going here. Hi, Steve.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How you doing tonight?
Oh, tired. We're all ready for Samantha's open house tomorrow, so I got to get up early and go get the food and the cake. But everything's all decorated. Most all the food's there, that besides the cake and the subs and stuff that we're getting. But
Open house, what's that?
She graduated high school.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, congratulations. That's a benchmark day.
Yep.
Yeah, she graduated almost a month ago now. But
yeah,
we're just now having the open house, but
celebration.
Very good. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, trying to pick days that all these graduations aren't on the same day with her best friends and her boyfriend and this and that, so they can each go to each other's stuff. And
right.
Yeah, we were going to actually do it 2 weekends before, but we thought we were going to Brodak, and then we ended up not going because she had that thing for college. So that's how far you got done in 1 week?
Yeah.
That's Monday?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, we got a good last
one. It looks like the rudder there is too far forward, though.
Yeah.
It's a shark.
Yeah. It looks nice, though.
This was the fuselage that I had in Dayton. This was the original top block that I had on it. The bottom's over there. So I rebuilt this, rebuilt mold bucks. I had to change things because I'm doing it different than I had planned.
Well, did you change the numbers a little bit, or?
I changed the numbers, and I also changed the tank location, moved the tank farther back, because at Brodak I ran into Kaz and bought that carbon fiber tank, so I had to make this deeper here. This piece deeper here. The tank's just way back here.
How will you get your wing? You know, I understand you're going to notch the wing, but how does it slip in there now? Is it going to be more difficult to put the wing in when you glue it?
Nope. I cut the fuselage right there and right there, pull the back half off, slide the front half onto the notch of the wing, so this locks the wing into the fuselage into the wing, and then slide the back half on.
Oh, okay.
Glue it.
Oh, because yeah, I always cut like a slot down at the back and the front, and then tip it in.
That's the old way.
That's the old way to do it, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, we got a new member. Wesley X Mike says, "Hey, I'm learning how to make model airplanes and want to learn more." And then he says, "Could I join the Hangouts?" Well, Wesley, you came to the right place. But in order to link in here with video and audio, you need to join the Stunthangar control line forums. And you got to use your full real name to join, first and last name, and you don't have to display it, but you do to join it. And then wait for an email approval. But
the most important thing is you have to put real name with a space, not an underscore, a space, and then last name. And then you'll get approved. And when you do that, let us know, and I'll go in there and approve you. And don't pull any monkey business, because you'll be out quick.
Well, that goes without saying. But yeah, if you'll join Stunthangar forums and get approved, and you know that might take a little bit of time, because Sparky has to approve thousands of people that come in and apply. But once you get that, you'll be able to get the link to come in here and join us. Meanwhile, you're welcome to watch on YouTube all you want. we're here every Monday and Friday and talk about planes, and not necessarily doing tutorials or anything, but we talk about stunt planes, combat planes, speed planes, racing planes, all control line pretty much.
Here I have 75 members that are trying to get in that didn't follow the simple rule. So,
the simple rule of putting a space between your first and last name.
that's correct.
That probably makes them all as dense as me, because it always took me a long time to get in, and especially get on here and learn how to do it.
Gmail addresses are always suspicious too, but if you let us know you're really, wanting to join and you've got a Gmail address, you just gotta contact us and let us know.
What's wrong with Gmail?
That's what spammers use.
It's home to lots of spammers.
Oh.
I have to use Gmail. I use Yahoo Mail as well, but our local email providers, it's difficult. You really have to use the large ones in New Zealand. So I've got a Yahoo and a Gmail.
That's the same thing with me, and I always give my friends, the Gmail, and then businesses the Yahoo, because people I give to my Yahoo never can get through it. It throws them out as spam or doesn't even let me know.
Right.
And like Bob Hunt, he was going to send me pictures. He kept saying he sent them to me, and I didn't get them. So I started Gmail now, and I'll get all that stuff. But I don't give a shit what business I give Yahoo to. They get on. It's all of them, but regular normal people can never get me on my Yahoo account.
Interesting.
I don't know.
The reason why this space is so important is computers haven't computers operate in ones or zeros. The computer hasn't figured out how to operate 1 0 space 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so what they have is email harvesting programs, these spam bots or whatever, and they make thousands of email addresses and names and stuff, usernames, and they search these forums for open registration. Well, you get inundated. I get anywhere between 100 and 300 people a day I have to go through, and so I look at those names, and if there's no space, I just go delete all.
Well, then why, okay, so they always want you to have a password. So why in the hell wouldn't they let you use a space in your password? Because then these computers couldn't generate these numbers to steal your account.
Don't ask me. I don't write the program.
I never knew that. That makes sense. Hell, you could do whatever password you had, do 2 numbers, a space, and 2 numbers. That means a computer, a person could go in there and do it, but a computer then wouldn't be able to do a space.
Well, I think it's different. They use a random key generator on that, and they could probably add a space for that. But on these email programs where they're typing in a username or whatever, it's like XYVZ Viagra at Viagra.com or XYGB Cialis at Cialis.com. So all these thousands of users come on, and they want to put up ads. And you'll notice that Stunthangar has I get spammed very little because I run it so strict.
Oh, okay. So did you have to move your bell crank back just a little bit because of where the tank's at?
No.
Oh, it works out so it'll clear that, huh?
Yeah, the front of the bell crank, the down line will miss that probably by 1/4 inch.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Why is that so deep in there? He just makes his tanks longer, narrower, or?
It's 1 inch for every ounce. So if you got a 7.5 ounce tank, you have to have 7.5 inches from the back of the motor to the back of the F2.
Oh, okay.
Plus, you got to have a little room to get the fuel line in. So you got looking at 8 inches back. So my nose moment is 10 3/4 here, but the motor is set back 3/4 of an inch. So it's really at 10 inches from the back of the spinner line to the leading edge.
Oh, I see.
I've changed the numbers because of this, because this motor is heavier. The other airplane is a 15.5-inch tail moment. This one's going to be 16.5. The other airplane has an 11-inch nose, but the tank is farther forward. So that kind of, and the motor's lighter. So that kind of, you're taking a guess as to where it's going to be to balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got a heavier engine, move the engine farther back, move the tank back farther in the wing, make the tail longer because the engine's heavier. The other one, you can make it shorter and move the tank forward.
Now, are you moving the engine back just to get the mass, the greatest amount of mass back closer to the CG, or you doing it so you can narrow the front end more or easier? Or
both of those. I mean, you can't get a nose like this with the motor sitting way up in front here. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't get the setback for the air goes in to cool the head.
And it probably won't show. But if you, let's see here. If you look in here.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a lot of room for the air to flow around inside. Let's see.
Yeah,
it looks really nice.
It's good.
So, Sparky, can you make the tank deeper than 1 inch? Everybody uses a 1-inch tank. Could you go to a 1.5-inch tank or something to make it shorter?
Then there's a run problem between upright and inverted. You'll have more pressure on the inverted side than you would on the upright side. So the engine will run at a different speed.
But could you centralize that by moving the motor down, still keep the center line of the tank? You know, like some people space the motor out from the mounts to give them that bit more space. Could you do that and still try and keep your center line of the tank the same, but have a deeper tank so you can have a shorter tank? I'm thinking of a model with a short nose, a relatively short nose. It's the other way I've tried to do it is using.
You'd have to cut the hardwood rails to lower that tank.
I have my Supermarine that I built. Some of you guys have seen it.
Yeah.
The Thunderbolts were the same way. The noses were 8 3/4, but it had a 8-ounce tank in it. Well, you figure, how did you do that? Well, you go to the Walgreens or wherever, and you look for perfume bottles, and make a clunk tank out of a perfume bottle that's short, squatty, and wide.
Mm.
But with this, I mean, I could run a clunk tank and have a short couple deal, you know, whatever a clunk tank length is. But I want to run the $100 carbon tank from Kaz because it's so light. I'm trying to get all the weight out that I can in front of the center of gravity, so you get that, you know, quick turning stuff.
Yeah. I was worried about my Magnum. I know I've still a bit sitting there in the background. It's still while I've been working on models for the boys, but I was sort of tossing up using one of my different clunk tanks just to get the capacity in that short space I've got on my Magnum, because the nose is relatively short. And especially if I was going to do a takeaway wing, then I run out of space because of the mounting blocks for the wing. So I'm sort of still tossing up whether I should just run with a single piece model if I can fit it in the car, so I don't have the complication and I can get a tank in there easier. But the two-piece gear swallows up some room where your tank would be as well.
And if, like you asked Steve, light airplane won't fly into the wind, will it, Steve?
No, it won't. Yeah, you're like I told him. Well, you guys didn't get to see the wind and what all happened there at that contest, but if his power to weight ratio wasn't where it was at, that airplane would not have made it through that pattern. Just because, but he felt comfortable enough to do it because the judges wouldn't move.
Yeah.
Which I'd have just flown out that fight and said, this is an attempt or whatever.
You can't make an attempt after you turn upside down and reverse wing over. It becomes official.
I'd have sort of just flown that flight out, and then I'd have protested that shit. Because that ain't right. You have the right to move them judges You can move them 180 degrees in the wrong direction. It's your flight. That's how I look at it.
So a heavy model would have just run wide in the corners and under the wind, you're saying, and you would have never been able to corner it tight enough if it were 10 ounces heavier, say.
I flew everything upwind. Everything wind was blowing into my face on my first flight.
Hey, Sparky, let me interrupt for just a second. Wesley X Mike says he just went to Stunthangar and applied, and it says it's telling him he still needs to be activated. So I told him I'd let you know.
Okay, let's see here.
Now I don't know what name he used to register, but probably the newest one on there.
Now we'll see. Come on.
Okay, Wesley, Mike, he's taking a look now.
I think we're getting bombed because Stunthangar won't open up.
That's the owner of the forum that you're talking to now. We call him Sparky. His name's Robert.
I can't get Stunthangar to open up. Let me open a new window here. I guess we're getting bombed. I'm probably going to have to, there's some kind of process running. Stop.
Might be jammed up on a Friday night.
Let me sign out. I'll be back.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Wesley, we're working on it.
Hey, Charles,
Yeah.
you hear the Knights canceled the Knights joust?
Yeah, I saw the newsletter. Yeah, it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna step out a
They're
second.
gonna have a fly-in. All right, they're gonna have a fly-in on the 25th of August.
Yeah, I'll go up for that.
Just no prizes and no judging. Just a fun fly.
Yeah. I'm still gonna go up there.
So what happened? Someone died?
No, we have a contest through the Knights of the Round Circle. They have two big contests a year. One's the Palmer, which is in May usually. Then the second one is in August, and it's called the Sir Dale Kern Joust. And the president canceled it. I think he had what I read this morning had low attendance at the club meetings, and there was, I guess, they was a little bit late in filing it. I guess, right? I think they didn't get the AMA sanctioned in time. I think.
Yeah.
So they
help me.
canceled it. And I was looking forward to it. The Joust and the Palmer, and even the ones in Sepulveda Basin, which Sparky knows where that's at. They're nice. They have nice asphalt circles. I practice on grass, and so it's nice to go to the Palmer and the Joust to get some time on a hard surface, because the state championship is on a hard surface at an airport.
Okay. Where'd Sparky go to try to get that guy online, or?
Yeah. So you guys, I took my son out flying this morning.
All right.
So that was a lot of fun. But unfortunately, I'm trying this new exponential handle from that Larry Ringer makes. I'm actually borrowing his exponential handle, and it takes a while to get it adjusted. And so he spent too much time adjusting his handle. I never really could get it adjusted right. I still need to make some more clips because it's a hard point handle.
Yeah.
Took a while to get it somewhat close. It's not. I still need more up input, and so I need to readjust it. But he flew, and from what I could see, that handle has helped because he was flying it more level with less porpoising.
Yeah. How old's your son?
He is 11.
Okay.
And he's more into Star Wars and Legos, and and that kind of stuff than he is flying. But I think it's just because he really hasn't had a very good experience yet.
Yeah.
You know, once he has a plane flying level and not porpoising, I think he will. And when he does his first loop, I mean, that's what it's going to be. That's going to be awesome, you know, when he does his first loop.
Yeah, that's a thrill.
Yeah. So, but he asked me today because I was flying with Dave Sabon, which Kevin and I both know. And he saw David going inverted, and he asked me, my son asked me, how do you get the plane inverted? You know, and I explained to him one way, you know, to do a loop, but at the top of the loop, you know, just flying level, you know, at the top. And he goes, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. I said, but you can't do that yet, you know.
What kind of airplane is he flying?
It's a Skyray 35.
That's a good one, yeah.
That's a good starter.
Yeah, it's a good durable plane. He's had some rough landings, and the plane is still in one piece. And like I said, and the other thing, Rusty, I want to thank you for. I think you was on to something last week, or 2 weeks ago. I asked you about why is it porpoise so much. I have all kinds of nose weight in it, and you thought the incidence might be off, you know. And I looked at it, and I could see that the motor does have some down incidence in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to slot or elongate the mounting holes on the motor to be able to correct that. So I hope to get the incidence 0-0 next time he goes out flying and fix the handle, and because I'm hoping to get him flying, and he has a really good friend of his named Brody.
You gotta get up on a bench.
I'm hoping to get Brody hooked in,
Oh, 8.
and then even hook in some other young people.
Then I'll just go back to sleep.
Good. I hope it'd be nice to
I want that.
get a new youth in the crowd.
Oh yeah, we got to do that, you know, because even like the nights, the round circle, I know, and they have tried. They have these. They go to the AMA expos, and they go to there's another event they go to, and they have a lot of young people come out and try the control line planes, but it's just been slow coming for them to come back to their flying site and join, you know.
Yeah.
But until they get new blood in there, you know, it's a matter of if you're not growing, you're dying, you know.
Okay, I'd like to make a quick statement here.
All right.
Wesley, Mike, or whatever, has joined the forum, but did not follow the instructions. It's not his first and last name with a space. I went ahead and approved him, but you cannot post. Now you can look and see and join this forum, but if you get out of hand, Rusty will boot you. If you get out of hand, I want to see who you are before I let you post on Stunthangar. I know that sounds protectionist or whatever, but if you can't follow the simple rules, I can't let you in.
Yeah.
What is it that he didn't?
Hey, Sparky, I'm glad you do this, man, is because it keeps it to where everybody wants to come and stay and do stuff, and people bitch and shit like that. But like I told you before, you know, you do more, one of the people that does most for stunt flying of anybody, and you've kept this, you know, this thing going good for this long, and it's working fine. And you know, if people don't want to follow the rules, so be it.
His name, his username, instead of Wesley space Mike, was Wesley X Mike. That ain't the rules. So I don't know whether it's a real person or not. So you can view, but you can't post until we see you here in the YouTube channel or whatever. And Rusty has the button. As far as YouTube ejection goes, we can eject you if you start any nonsense. We've been spammed before. I apologize, but that's just the way it has to be.
He seems to think the forum has banned him. He says, what happened? It banned me.
Because of the X. You can't have an X in there.
You got to have a space between Wesley and Mike. Wesley space Mike. Okay. So.
Alrighty.
Yeah, no Malcolm X stuff.
If you do it again with a space between your first and last names, you should get approved, and then you will be able to get to the thread where this link to this video chat is. If you can get into the forum right now, it's under live streams / at the bench. Sign on with your name and your password now to get in where it says log in at the top of Stunthangar. It just says, how do I get on? Are you in Stunthangar now, Wes? Give me a yes or a no on that. If you're in the root folder of stunthangar.com, then you can scroll down until you see a section called live streams.
Let me take the ban off him real quick.
Okay.
But I'm here at the button. I can tell you that right now.
All right.
For some reason, Stunthangar is just creeping tonight. There must be 10 million people on there.
I couldn't get on. Was it last night or the night before? I couldn't even get on Stunthangar.
Ron Hess says he tried it a minute ago and got in and out with no problem. But
I got in and out tonight with no problem. It was the other night. I didn't know if something went down or my internet was slow or it was really busy or what. But it wouldn't let me in.
Rusty, I have a question, Rusty.
okay.
I mean, Sparky. Excuse me, Rusty. I meant Sparky.
Yeah.
So on the fuselage, do you use Z-epoxy exclusively? So when you put the wing in to the fuselage, are you using Z-epoxy then also, or?
I only use Z-epoxy on the nose with the fiberglass. Everything else is dope and tissue.
Well, you glue it in with 5-minute, don't you? Your wing?
No. What the heck is going on here?
Who spams the channel? Something funny's happening there.
What kind of glue do you use to glue your wing into your fuselage, Sparky?
Flow set, 15, 30 minutes. I'm going to have to sign off and try to go in the back end and shut down these processes, so I'll be back.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, he uses, what do you say, he uses 15 or 30 minute?
Yeah, for the epoxy for the wing.
What I've been doing is that, you know, we haven't had a failure yet, is that if everything is nice and tight, or where it is tight and a little, I'll glue that with CA and tack the whole the wing in with that.
Yeah,
then,
I've seen Wendy do that too.
And then I take and I put a fillet of superfill on the inside and the outside of that wing.
Right, right. That's what I'm going to do.
And when I push the superfill in, if there is any little teeny gap or anything, it fills that in. And when Samantha crashed that Legacy, and it was done that way, the whole fuselage broke out, but it left like a ½ inch of balsa all the way around. And that them fillet there, they never.
That is good to hear.
They're like, oh yeah, we can fix that, and you can put that in another body. I can't get the damn fillets off without ruining the sheeting of the damn center section. I've been trying, and it's like,
oh.
Angle grinder.
You know what you might try is I've had good luck with this product called Jasco epoxy and paint remover. I know that Home Depot and Lowe's used to sell it. They still might sell it, but it's Jasco, and it'll turn the adhesive into kind of a gelatin kind of thing. It takes time. It works really slowly, but I've removed the epoxy, as a matter of fact.
oh, okay, maybe it'd work on that superfill, because I don't know.
You either drop it to apply the this Jasco paint and epoxy remover, and it's I've had a lot of success with it. You know, most people think you can't remove epoxy, but my experience is otherwise.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I'm gonna make profiles out of these. I got a Vector and a Legacy, where the wings are fine. It's just it ruined the fuselage. they didn't hit that hard, but when it hit, it snapped the tail off and then ripped the whole top block off of it. And I know some people fix them, but it's like, I ain't gonna mess with it.
Okay, that account has been deleted. Follow the instructions. We'll try again.
All right.
So you want me to tell him to redo the registration?
Whatever. I mean, you got to follow the directions. You know, then I'm going to have to stay up and babysit it and make sure we're not getting spammed.
You know, Steve, I was at a contest, and Bob Whiteley had a beautiful Formula S out there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it before, but this is a pretty plane.
Exact
And
copy of Kostecki's.
what?
An exact copy of Kostecki's, I think.
Yeah. It looked just, I mean, I didn't see the original one, but it looked good. Anyways, the point I want to make is that the plane crashed due to a hardware failure. And I saw the same thing, but it was ambroid. So when the wing came out of the fuselage, there was a, like a half-inch high all the way around of wood that was attached to the wing, and that's where the glue, the adhesive, the ambroid was. So I was really impressed with the ambroid, how that held together.
Sparky, don't you super fill a fillet on the inside of your fuselage also?
I do, yes.
I knew that's right. I was pretty sure that's where I learned. I was telling him while you were off that legacy of Samantha's that went in. The fuselage broke into 1,000 pieces, but there was like a half-inch all the way around the whole wing where that super fill was in there, and there was no breakage or nothing on that.
There's a couple of things that I do that I mean, you want a model to last for a while, and you want to transfer vibration or whatever. You look at my engine mounts; they run back to here.
Yeah.
Back to here, so they're ground. There we go. They're ground to fit the wing. Now, epoxy goes on top of this. Epoxy goes on this. Then this is epoxied in. Then it has this. Then you have the top block that holds the bell crank pivot glued between the fuselage sides, top and bottom, which is an 1/8-inch piece of plywood. Then all this stuff inside and out gets a super fill fillet, and when it hits the ground, it's a one piece. It's not coming out of there.
Yeah, that's what I said when that fuselage of Samantha's hit. It actually broke one. It cracked one of the engine mounts or the beam, but that part of the fuselage wasn't broken. It was just everything broken around it, pieces all gone. But once it was all tied together, it was really there. But yeah, that's how I do it too. Like you grind that out and make it part of the.
Make the vibration transfer to the wings.
Yeah.
You want a good engine run, you have to spread the vibration out through the entire airframe.
So even with a header muffler like that, and I know that the one you got is more than a header muffler because I don't know what you kind of tune muffler or whatever that is. Do you think you're going to use 7.5 ounces of fuel for the flight?
Probably.
Oh, okay.
You go up in nitro, you use more.
Yeah, that's true. How much nitro you think you'll run? Up close to 15% sometimes?
I ran at the Nats when I had my 75 and my Thunderbolt. I think a couple of times I had to run 20% because of the heat. Normally, like during the winter, you want to run 5%. Then you go up, when it starts heating up a little bit, you go to 7%. I normally run 10%, but have us run as much as 20. But I try to keep, I don't like using the nitro because it melts the nose off the airplane.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking too, if this one comes in as light as your other one, I don't know, what are you going to do to turn the power down? So
Not.
you're going to have to go with a lot bigger prop or something to.
Great.
Because otherwise you're going to be flying lap times. You're going to be down there in like 4.5 second laps.
Keep pitching. See, you run the motor where it's happy, and you run the pitch of the propeller, gear the pitch of the propeller to the lap speed. So to fine tune it, you adjust the line length.
Yeah.
You want to make the motor run happy, and then adjust the pitch. And the reason why my Super Tigers run the way they do, bone stock, is the way that I set them up. Randy Smith Venturi, BA spray bar, a tube or a tongue muffler, 13.6 rev up propeller, the only prop that works on the Super Tiger 60. And I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah, you pound that into our heads, don't you?
10% Sig Champion fuel, which is 20% oil, 10% castor, 10% synthetic. And I don't use a tack. I very rarely touch the needle. I just listen to it. I listen to it break. It's going on the ground, and then when it takes off, it unloads and it runs that hard, fast 4-stroke as you hear in the video.
Yeah.
And it doesn't miss a beat. They all work the same. Everybody says, well, how do you, is that a Randy Smith motor? Is that a Big Jim? No, it's a stock motor. They work perfect.
Well, I think if they want to mess with props, then that's when they mess with the motors to try to get the motor to run a different propeller or whatever.
You can't pull an airplane with a 13.6 propeller. You got a real heavy airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a giant stiletto with a Super Tiger 60 with a 13.6, but it was over 70 ounces. It was just too heavy. It was a bad match. But it's a long time ago.
I think the 13.6 rev up is probably really 13.5, but you know they weren't real good on their accuracy.
A buddy of mine told me he knew the guy did that because it made it seem like your engine had more power. It's like, man, you put this prop on there, this 13.6, and I can get another 500 RPM out of this motor.
I don't want 500 RPM. I want it to run 8,400 RPM all the way through the flight.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, they rev ups were big in RC pattern for a long time. That's what everybody, you know, any other prop would turn the same RPM. And he just said that they underpitched them a little bit, so the RPM would be up. But I don't know if it's true or not.
Hardest thing for me to dig into people's heads is about engine runs is you want the engine to run where it's happy. If it's 9,500, if it's 10,000, wherever the engine's happy and consistent, that's where you want the engine to run. Once you get that figured out, then you can adjust the pitch for the lap speed you want. And for the tenths, you use the line length. It's real simple. It's gearing in a car. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And the reason why the guys like to run the low pitch flat back props at high RPM is there's less windup because it's not in the wind. It's not winding from 8,400 to 10,000 RPM. It's running 10,000 RPM all the way through, and it won't go any higher.
Right.
The old nostalgia way that my Super Tigers run, in the wind they will wind up if you're not careful. But you don't want to turn the engine down in the wind. You want to turn the engine up in the wind. I know that sounds ass backwards, and people, well, I want to slow it down. No, you don't. You want to turn the engine up and put a different prop on it.
Yeah.
Do you want to speed the motor up in the wind? Is that what you're saying?
Speed the motor up in the wind and put less pitch on it. That way it'll fly the same speed. But otherwise, when you turn the nose up in the wind, it'll wind up like a big dog.
Right.
8,400 to 10,000. And it'll get away from you.
Yeah. Yeah, I told people the same thing. I mean, they richen it up to make it run slower. And I'm like, you're just putting more fuel in that motor. So when it winds up, it has a lot more fuel to burn.
And a heavy airplane in the wind is a whole lot harder to fly than a light airplane in the wind.
Yeah.
Because stick pressure, I crashed one, I don't know if you guys, if you look on the photo gallery on Stunthangar. I have a jet in there from about 5-6 years ago. It's a gray airplane with checkerboards on the tail. I crashed that in Tulsa because the wind picked up, just like my SV100 when I did the low pull out. The stick pressure in the wind gets so heavy, it won't turn. You don't let, you'd have to have a broom handle on it to get it to go around the corner.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one reason why we trimmed Samantha's airplane to, well, it came out to be 63 ounces, so we had to go to 18 thousandths, but we were going to do that anyway because her SV11, that's at 61 ounces. She said when there's heavy wind, she goes, them line stretches, you can't turn that thing.
Yeah.
It's 64 ounces is the cutoff.
Oh, is it 64?
I'll be damned if I'll be flying on 18,000th lines.
You don't like them, huh?
They're too heavy. They're whipping the wind. When you're flying this way and you can see the lines sagging behind, you know, that's no good. I'd like to use 12,000.
Yeah, I wish they'd let us use that damn spider wire stuff or whatever it is.
I don't like that idea.
No?
No. I'll be damned if I'm going to run fishing line on my flying line.
I'm keen to try it just because it will help save on some of the kink lines when we're flying on rough fields. I thought it'd be good for the boys just to have something that good on a practice model, on a rough model. So I've bought some that I want to give it a try anyway.
Now, I do have 100 foot of line here that I haven't figured out how to terminate. It's, it doesn't say. It's 12 thousandths diameter, but it's 3 strands. It's like a solid wire. There's 3 solid pieces of piano wire.
Is that the Russian wire or the European wire?
Yeah, 3 strands.
FTB wire, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, stay right, 100 meters. Oh, that's 300 foot.
Yeah.
So I have 300 foot.
How light you got to get down to run 12 thousandths?
Oh, these are 15,000.
Or 15?
Yeah, I'm not sure. These are 15. Dave Fitzgerald has used these or whatever. And I would use these, but I can't figure out how to get the end on it neatly because you can't do them like a normal line.
Right.
Oh, you can't bend them around like a normal line?
It's like a solid. These are 3 solid pieces of piano wire, stainless or whatever, twisted. So they wouldn't stick. They'd probably be hard to take care of. Someday I might try them.
I know they were big in at one time in combat. That they used them in combat. I don't know how they terminated them, but you know, if they got in a tangle or whatever, they didn't cut like the smaller 19 strand or 15 strand, whatever it was.
You know, I don't know much about fishing, but I mean, stainless steel has been around since I don't know when. I mean, that's really old technology, and the fishing industry has made leaps and bounds in tech. I mean, there's a lot of technology in fishing, you know. So I think we should have our eyes open to look at some of those options because there's some high technology in fishing.
Well, a buddy of mine said that
on a piece of plastic, not me.
Well, I mean,
my buddy who's a police officer said that if stainless steel lines were better, that's what they'd make his vest out of.
Yeah, I've got these. I'm going to give it a try.
I love that. That's a good point.
Yeah, well, I've got 30 pound and 50 pound. I want to give these a try and see what they're like. I'll try it on an old model, and you know what some of my models are like. I'm not losing anything if they break. I'll just tell everybody to stand well back and give it a go.
We haven't.
I don't know if you can see this or not, but this right here is thread. And you could probably fly your model on this thread right here. It's nothing. This is Kevlar thread. If you try to pull it apart, you'll cut your hands off.
Yeah.
You can't break it. But I ain't flying my airplane on this thread.
I've tried the Kevlar. I've done the Kevlar, but it's got too much drag. So I'm quite keen to try some of this new. I can't remember the exact name of the chemical compound they used to make it up for, but it's a multi-strand line, and the combat guys seem to be really big on it in the States. It's illegal here in New Zealand, but I want to give it a try, and they said if you have success with it, if it looks like it's going to work, then we'll see that we may amend the rules to allow it to be used here. But right now, we're just experimenting with it, and I know there are people having some success, so I'm just trying.
We have a set of lines right now that are 3 years old. Okay. And we fly it on the older airplanes to see how many flights could be flown on that line before it would break.
Wesley Michael.
Yeah, he just said he re-registered.
Yeah, I just approved him.
Okay, Wes. I posted the link to the At the Bench thread just a couple of posts above you. So click that and you'll get the link to this.
Yeah.
See what happens.
But we got hundreds and hundreds of flights on this one set of lines, and they still look as good as the day that we put them on the handle.
Wow.
And we haven't lost one airplane. We've never had one set break or anything like that. Basically, the only reason Samantha doesn't use them is you got to retrim for AMA contest if you use different, once you trim for your lines. So we just fly on metal all the time, but my airplanes all got the Kevlar stuff on it. I just go from one plane to another.
Crap. Guess who it is?
I'm back. I'm back.
Not for long, motherfucker.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a clue there when he said like what, and you realize, yep.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that?
Is that better to do?
That kid is so good.
I have nothing better to do.
You boot him?
He's out. Okay, ban him from Stunthangar, Sparky.
I'm back.
That's why we've got to be cautious, isn't it?
Some little twerp.
Proof positive. Thank you, Sparky.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's great.
I just looked at his damn page and he's only got 0 videos on it. On his old site, on his old YouTube page, he was complaining about getting booted from YouTube, all whining because he'd gotten too many strikes against him.
Yeah.
Hey, he's a bad dude.
I just hope they never sell him a gun.
I hope not. He's such a little twerp. He appears to be having fun though, so I guess that's all right. The
It's your fault. Your fault.
Fuck you, man. Get out of here.
I have multiple accounts between us.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we know. You're smart.
What you need to do is close that down and restart it if you want us to do that.
It's 11:35. I got to get up early tomorrow. We can just close the show if you want to.
Yeah, I'm happy to go now.
This will be the only time he can get to us.
Oh,
Well, I just banned that IP address off the server, so he'll never get back on that again.
All right.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a bad feeling, didn't you, Sparky?
Yeah.
If he's on a rotating, what do you call it? When you use different rolling domains, he can probably get back in. But yeah, he won't have another link because every night's show is a individually new link.
Oh, okay.
He just wasted a bunch of my time because I missed all the conversation while we were fucking with him.
That guy should go get a good job. He probably can make lots of money with his
ability.
With his internet prowess. He probably can make some good
not
money.
old enough to get a real job. I don't know.
I have a hell of a time getting on when you guys allow me to and want me to, let alone trying to get on when you wouldn't want me to.
Let me do this. Yeah, he's not going to like this part. So we'll log in here. I'm going to go to the back end and close the complete server down to this jerk off.
Here he comes.
You're a faggot. That guy's black. That guy is black. Malcolm X lover. Buddhism hotline.
Yeah, Buddhism this. Boot him. You get him?
Yeah, I got him, and I just prevented anybody from coming in free like that again, too.
Okay, good. Let's see. Date registered. I want to get his IP address. We're going to shut him down permanently.
It's too bad you can't throw a bug back at something like that.
I got that coming.
Oh, yeah?
If he's using proxy servers, then you can't stop him with an IP, can you?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's just frustrating because it makes it hard for people that are genuine. You've just got to treat them with so much caution. But
Oh my God.
He's trying to get in now, but he can't.
And it shows him it's automatically.
Yeah, it's grayed out. I got a button to prevent that. I just been running it wide open, but I left it too wide open this time. So that's as far as he can get now. As far as I know, unless he knows how to hack my controls. They have done that before.
Yeah, they have.
It isn't funny, but it's funny. I mean,
It'd be funny if it wasn't.
just screw with it. You just probably like, I want to screw with a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
Mostly wants to screw with me.
They're sitting around talking about toy airplanes.
Hey, Charles,
Yeah.
you know you're black?
You know what? I just learned that like 2 weeks ago.
No shit. Well, I got a black and white monitor, so I couldn't really tell.
Right, right.
What, Steve? Monitors blacks and whites?
No, my monitor is black and white. It ain't colored, so I couldn't tell he was black.
I know.
well, that's how much difference it really makes, right? It means nothing, the color.
I just figured out how to turn Gerald's picture around so he ain't upside down all the time.
No. The other side of the world.
Yeah. It's like, hell, he's on the bottom part of the world. His picture comes in upside down.
Well, Dennis comes in here sideways half the time.
Okay. So we got 74103, control C.
Oh, I was like, I got to get something to drink.
74.103.20.221. That's this jerk off. So let's see here. C panel. Yeah, he don't know who he's fucking with.
I think he gave us as much entertainment as we gave him tonight.
IP blocker, so we'll go there.
Yeah, that kid must be from Norway or something.
Control V. He's from the mental institution.
Yeah, what's that thing he wears? It's like a.
That's he calls it his retard hat. He puts that on. That's like kids that are.
I think that's a wrestling helmet, isn't it?
It's protective headwear for
Well,
something.
he's blocked from my server, and if he gives me any more crap, I will throw him something that will shut him down permanently.
That's good. Yeah, it seems that's, you know, I figured that it's like if someone breaks in or tries to, you know, on these servers, break in the servers, it seems like they would have something that would automatically hook to it and send it a virus to just destroy everything they got in their mainframe or however they're doing that shit.
That kid ain't that smart.
Oh.
He's just a kid.
Yeah, we're not being attacked by the KGB or something. We're just being attacked by somebody having some fun on us. Yeah.
So is your tail feathers going to be the same size on this ship, or you just doing something different on that too?
No, they're same size. I already got it made. Yeah, they just figure I'm an old man that doesn't know anything. That kid.
We did have another new guy that got lost in the fray that came and watched us. I don't know if he's still looking or not, but calls himself Dr. Dimples, but he says, enjoy watching you guys. More of an RC guy, but want to get more involved with UC. Did a lot as a kid here in Mile High, Denver. And that's all he said. I welcomed him, and we hadn't heard from him since.
Just the way he talks, you know, he's a real guy.
Sounds like the real thing, yeah.
Mm.
You still out there, Dr. D? Feel free to post on YouTube. I think we got all the turds out of the water.
Hey, Sparky, I'm intrigued by the front of the canopy on your fuselage.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm just kind of at a loss. How did you do that?
Carving sand. Just carving sand. I can't explain it. Just carved it in there.
Okay.
Now, is that solid now, or are you going to hollow it out, or is that just a back?
This whole thing is solid. The whole top block is solid. And I'll carve it down to 3/32 of an inch inside the whole way. It's 2.75 ounces now. I'll get it down to a half an ounce.
How about where your canopy starts there? Will that be, is that solid there too, and you'll carve all that out?
It's all solid. Yep. It'll all get carved out. There won't be anything left inside. Now, in order to make it as light as possible, you can carve each section out and then leave a rib in it. But you get a lighter block if you carve the whole thing and sand it uniformly and then glue back in a bulkhead.
Well, that's what I've been doing, because I can never peel out the wood and leave a space. I end up with the carving tools or whatever, whacking it and breaking it. So that's what I did too. It was easier just to carve the whole thing and then make up a bulkhead and stick in it.
I get this is an old piece of sanding core. If sandpaper comes on a roll, it has a little cardboard core.
Yeah.
And I just hold it like that. Sand inside.
Yeah.
Piece of 80 grit.
Yeah. Usually I bought Samantha these gouges and stuff a long time ago. I spent a lot of money for them. They're really sharp. And I'll take most of it out with that. And then, like you said, I do the same thing and then sand the rest of it in.
Oh, Terry Forbes posted a while ago. We had so much going on, I didn't see him, but he says he's babysitting tonight. But hi, Terry.
Hey, Terry.
Missed you lately. I had my chat box scrolled up and didn't realize that little Wesley was posting a bunch of crap, but it's all hidden now.
I haven't seen Tom back on here in a while either.
No.
If he flew his new airplanes or whatever.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to know how he's going.
He might have a lot going on with his dad and stuff like that. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
How's your dad doing, Sparky?
Still going.
Is he gonna come to the Nats this year?
No, he can't see hardly anymore, so he said he's done.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
Yeah, that kid was kind of fun.
Yeah, he really is kind of crazy.
He said, laughing my ass off, you're welcome for the laughs.
Yeah, how's it going when you get back on my site, jerk off?
That's what the hell he has on his head.
That's to keep him from beating his head against the wall. He's a retard.
That's a retard hat. He's still watching us.
Really?
Oh, well. Anybody want the current newsletter that I finished yesterday? I'll send you a copy.
Yeah, send me a copy.
Okay, I'll do that. How about you, Rusty or Rocky? If you want a copy, or Steve, I don't know if I've got your email, Steve, but I can send you a copy of our Auckland Free Flight Club newsletter. I spend ages working on the thing, but it's nothing compared to looking at something on the
well, I'd give you my damn email address, but with that kid down there, I'm afraid to say it. But if you got Charles or whatever, or whoever you got, you guys link me in or whatever.
All right, I'll forward it to you.
Yeah, forward it. That's it. Yeah, link me in. See, I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Guy says it's a Century boxing hat, whatever that is.
Oh, it's a boxing hat?
Yeah.
Well, beat your head against the wall.
You gotta take it off first.
Jerk off while you're beating your head against the wall.
Yeah, if I was a kid, if I happened to come across this video as a kid, I would just be enamored with that Continental hanging on the wall. You know, I don't understand how he's not just, you know, taken by the beautiful plane there.
Kids are not interested in that. It's too much work.
Yeah, I know. It is. Terry had forwarded me a video of a real hobby shop that still had walls and walls of kits, you know. And the guy who was narrating said that, you know, as a kid, you'd go into a hobby store and there was so many kits in there. Everybody, you had to build everything. But kids today, they want to go to the store and buy something and then play with it, you know, in 5 minutes. You know, they don't want to build something.
Yeah, it is very hard to even convince my boys to come and build, but sometimes they enjoy coming into the modelling room in the evening and they'll do a bit of building with me. But I realise I'm lucky that they do that because so few kids are prepared to do any of it. But you know, you'll give them a little task that they can do and they enjoy the decorating part. That's something that most kids will love, painting. You know, if you give them a model and you've done most of it, you just say, you paint it, they love that part of it. But yeah, getting them to do the boring sanding and the gluing A to B and C and D, a lot more challenging to keep them engaged for a long time.
Yeah, that's the same.
I want to thank the retarded kid for showing his face and for me letting me get his IP address because now he's screwed.
I got a screenshot of his face months ago. I didn't throw it away.
Yeah, but I didn't have his IP address. Now, you know, he left the footprint. He's done.
Good.
See, what happens, Sparky, is you're usually not on.
Yeah, I know. He didn't know that.
Yeah.
But now he'll never get back on. Not through Stunthangar.
No, he'd have to buy a whole new computer, right?
Yeah, I got his MAC address, but I mean,
No, he'd have to get a whole new cable hookup or whatever, I think. I don't know.
Oh, is that how? I don't know how the IP address works. I thought it was something in the damn computer that.
IP address is just like a phone number. So you're calling up the computer's phone number, but a MAC address is the machine's address.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting.
My tools log everything. I mean, I know where you are. I mean, whatever.
You're following me? Oh my God. I'm going to have to make some kind of magnetic thing before I get to my bathroom. Like, damn it, he's back in the bathroom again.
You know, that guy that are following, I don't have that much time. I can't follow everybody.
Absolutely.
Like this.
I tell you what, that's like my brother's like, oh yeah, they could be following you, whatever. I'm like, I know they're going to be more bored than I am because I'm bored with my life. And if they're just watching me, they're even going to be more bored than me.
I got, you know, everybody's shit's out there now. There's nothing you can do to hide. You might as well not worry too much about it. People think because they don't bank online that their banking information is not available.
Yeah, right. They can. A guy could just walk. You can buy it on Amazon. A card reader walk by you, and if your wallet's unprotected, they'll read your credit card right out of your wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That magnetic strip, the RFID chips, and all that, and just read it right out of your wallet.
Well, remember, you know, you guys all remember back when cell phones came in, and me and my buddy, because we were building a house and we're so far away from a payphone or whatever, we decided to get a cell phone. We got this big old bag phone, and so when Pete goes and buys it, I forget how many hundreds of dollars that damn thing was, and got everything. Comes out in the parking lot and says, hey, I got the phone, here's the number, you know. I'm like, all right, I'll write it down and stuff like that. That was it. I think we used it 4 or 5 times in that month because it was really expensive. We got a bill for $6,000.
Whoa.
We're like, what the hell?
Somebody cloned you.
they as soon as he walked out of the damn place, they said, you know, he went back there and talked to them. They said, yeah, we got to put a sign up there that says, please do not use your phone when you walk out this door because somebody's going to steal your whatever. Go someplace else, you know, because they said that they knew that people were sitting in the parking lot. As soon as people come out, they were just grabbing the phone numbers and charging phone calls to.
Wow.
So we had to go through every single phone call in there and say which one was ours and which one weren't. But I mean, when they were being called from England and India, and I couldn't believe all the places that phone number got so quick.
Wow.
You know, we're like, we're in Michigan. But not one phone call. Well, it went to Detroit. There was one phone call from Grand Rapids to Detroit. And after that, they were all over the country in different countries.
Hey, Rusty, what was that kid's username that was on there?
X Mike Gameplays Advanced 2.
Well, did you go into the YouTube page and ban that username?
No, I blocked it from here where I clicked on it, and it says remove. Let's see, hide from this channel. But I can
go into the YouTube page and remove that, or block that. There's a bunch of block tags up there. I can't remember where it is exactly.
I'm going.
If I had the kid's name, I could do it. But
he's not as bad. He's not as bad as some of them.
Nah, some of them are really nasty.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's in community, I think. Community.
Yeah, once he gets a girlfriend, he'll give all this shit up.
Yeah, let's see now. I'm at one of his pages right now. What do I do to block it? I don't see a flag to click.
Send me the username on Stunthangar.
Okay.
And I'll go in and take care of it here.
All right.
Messages. Read my messages.
Hey, Steve, that plane behind you, is that a Vector or what is that?
Which the red blue thing?
Not the score wing, the one right behind you.
Oh yeah, that's Samantha's other Vector.
Is that electric also, or is that?
Yeah,
low?
that's the one that we tried to duplicate the one from last year because that one right off the bench, it was nothing to trim it. I mean, within 10 flights, we had that damn thing just grooving and everything else. And so we put this one together thinking, oh yeah, I'll just do exactly the same motor, this and that and everything else. And Rusty seen what we screwed with that thing and screwed with it, trying to get it to, it wants to come in at you and starts coming in at 45s and stuff. And we were adding tip weight and moving lines, and we got it flying pretty good, but there must be a warp in the wing. I was talking to Dennis at a mission, and he said that it could be that one of the flaps are softer than the other.
Steam it out.
What's that?
Steam it out.
Well, no, it's not warp. He said it may not be a warp, is that if the balsa wood on one flap is soft and the other one's hard, when you nail a corner, one will flex and one won't.
Oh,
It can cause...
That's freezing.
You know, so this new airplane of Samantha's, I fiberglassed the damn flaps with half-ounce cloth.
That's
Real thin, and then went back over it with dope, and it worked well. And I'm like, well, these damn things are going to be stiff and going to be the same. But
You send it to me, Rusty?
Yep. I didn't send you anything that you probably don't already know.
Well, it doesn't say I have a message. Did you send it to me on Stunthangar?
Yep.
Huh. Why don't I have a message?
I don't know. I sent it just a second ago. Let me go back to the messages and see.
So, Kevin, have you worked on anything lately? I mean, last time we was flying together.
Oh, I forgot to type your name in. Sorry.
Yeah. Remember, it's instantaneous on Stunthangar. As long as the server's up.
Okay, it's on the way now.
There's one retard waiting approval. It says Epical Gold project for you. No
There,
thanks.
you should have your. Did it send? Yeah, it says it sent. That's all I know. I mean, I don't have any other names to give you than that. That's what we saw on the chat box.
Well, I'm going to go in and get his IP off of that side too. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, if anything that says game plays, you should have been a red flag.
One time when he came in, it said Buddhist hotline.
Yeah.
We saw that popped up at some point, but I think we're just going to have to use maybe a reference system where you refer to somebody that's known, or they have that person reference them and say that person's okay before they're able to join the forum.
Yeah, but they never let me in.
But then there'd be somebody in the same community.
Oh, you're to vouch for me?
Yeah. Look, I feel like I could vouch for anybody.
For you.
They run, hide.
You already blocked him, Rusty?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Richard Cranium, we're going to take care of you.
Hey guys, it's 11:57, and I got a big day ahead of me tomorrow, so I'm gonna go ahead and close it up for tonight. Oh, Terry Forbes sent us a message. He said he emailed somebody. I'd have to go back and look about options of lines, flying lines. So check your emails, and let's see, photo of new CL options in line via email. Yeah. So.
Okay, guys, he's going to be gone Monday and Friday next week. I will try to do an hour or so, but it's not going to be this late at night. It will probably be 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. I can do that tomorrow or Monday night. So look for us then, 7:30 Eastern. You probably won't be on, Charles. I guess you don't get home, but I can't do this late night stuff during the week.
Damn it, Rusty! I didn't see you put in for no vacation time.
Young guys, I don't need to. I can just take off anytime I turn my computer off.
Hey, Kevin, why don't you stay on? We can stay here when they close the show out.
Yeah,
y'all feel free to hang out. And one thing I wanted to tell Kevin that you might not know is when somebody's showing something on screen and holding it up here, if you want to zoom in on that so you can see it big, go click on their thumbnail at the bottom.
Okay.
You know how to do that, and then it gets a white border around it, and as long as you've got it clicked, you can see them. And then when you want to unclick it, just unclick it, and it'll go back to switching between whoever's making the most noise. Okay, I forgot. I usually tell new members that, and I forgot to tell you tonight. It was such an exciting night. So.
Yeah, we hadn't seen that dickhead in a long time.
It made it kind of fun tonight, though, really.
Well, anyway, y'all sit around and have fun, and I will.
It was a productive night. We've learned about the airplanes and stuff. Charles found out he's black. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Charles,
figured out how to turn Gerald's picture around, so he's not upside down now. And
all you guys that were watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. You're about to get cut off from these clowns, but they're going to continue to clown on as the night goes on. And tight lines, fair winds. I said that backwards, but I'm getting practice.
Hey, Rusty.
Rusty.
Good night.
If you think that guy was funny, you may be a control line flyer.
Boom.